Good afternoon, Belize. I'm Isana Cayetano, and you're watching News 5 at noon. Let's get you up to speed with the latest stories making headlines today. The BNTU presents demands to government. It votes on industrial action at nationwide meetings. UDP Chairwoman Pitts criticizes government for delaying teachers' demands amid CEO salary hikes. The government announces press conference on Tropic Air hijacking following criticism from UDP's HALOC. And there's a mental health crisis in Belize. 12,000 people seek help over 3 years. Women are mostly affected. These stories and more are coming up in just 1 minute.
I'm Brittany, one of the newest faces around here. My stories are heartfelt and bring a fresh perspective. On the job, there is no challenge too great. Flooded highways, raging fires, or asking tough questions. My determination and willingness to connect with people help to deliver stories that put you, our viewers, at the forefront of issues. My motto? Accurate, timely, and relevant. I am News 5.
Welcome back. This morning, members of the Belize National Teachers Union, BNTU, gathered in Belize City and elsewhere in the country to present their list of demands to the government of Belize regarding salaries and working conditions. They also voted on whether industrial action will be necessary to push their agenda forward. The meeting has just concluded here in the old capital, and we stopped by Swift Hall, where primary and secondary school teachers attended the event.
In light of the fact that our members have been agitating for their frozen increments, they have been asking for their salary upgrades that they have already worked for and have earned. They have been asking for some allowances that have yet to be given to them. In light of all of this, and government is giving raises to other employees, we wanted to find out from them what is their position in respect to this and what they want us as the union that represents them to do to ensure that they are able to get what is legally and justifiably theirs.
And how did they vote?
I cannot speak to that at the moment because we still have yet to look at the ballots and to see the responses of our members.
Okay, but in the last meeting with the government officials, what did they tell you with regard to these same concerns?
I cannot speak to that. As I said to you, I am just representing my branch, which is the Belize District. The National Executive deals with negotiating matters with the government of Belize, so I am not able to speak on that issue at this time.
I know that you have taken register of attendance. Can you share what that was like? Obviously, there was that memo from the ministry that everyone became aware of, and your union president was advising don't be intimidated by that. So what attendance looked like today?
The attendance was great here in the city. Remember, we have 3 locations in our district where voting is taking place today. We have voting taking place at Kikaka, and we have voting taking place in San Pedro. And so we have representatives from our executive out there who met with our teachers and who conducted the poll with those teachers out there.
The Ministry of Civil Aviation has announced that it will be hosting a press conference today at 3 p.m. On Tuesday morning, UDP Queen Square Area Representative Gordon HALOC criticized the Briceño administration for failing to hold a press conference on the Tropic Air hijacking. Interestingly, the announcement from the government of Belize came just hours after HALOC's remarks. In his comments, HALOC argued that the government should have addressed the public in real time. Here's what HALOC had to say.
Today I must speak on the fact that the entire nation is still waiting for an official government press conference on the hijacking of the Tropic airplane on April 17th. This press conference was to be held in real time immediately after the incident, yet the government to date has refused to hold a real press conference. I beg the question, why? And the only answer I can come up with is, since winning March 12th, the government is overconfident. They feel that it will pass over like a breeze. Now we all know that the PM is the minister responsible for civil aviation. However, we have been reliably informed that he was out of the country on seeking medical attention. So we would have expected that the Department of Civil Aviation or the Belize Airports Authority would have taken the lead on this matter.
Over the past 3 years, nearly 12,000 people have sought help from the Ministry of Health and Wellness for mental health disorders. According to the National Mental Health Policy, women made up 60% of that number. While mental health is becoming less of a taboo topic, there is still a lot of stigma surrounding it. In tonight's installment of the 5-Point Breakdown, News 5's Paul Lopez will explore what it's like to navigate mental illness. Here's one perspective from a mental health consultant at PAHO.
Mental health, obviously, everyone right now, so if I'm talking, my mind is actually working in certain direction. I might be a little bit stressed because this is the interview that I'm going through. You might be asking me some question. You might not be stressed because this is your day-to-day job. But something might happen and suddenly this is going to just change. So what we are basically trying to understand is that mental health is not a static thing. It's a more or less like a moving dynamic. It's a continuum where there are multiple situations which one might face, and that would actually define whether the person currently is feeling stressed, whether they are facing a long-term issue which might make them a little bit more distressed, or ultimately if provided with some sort of a predisposition, some environmental factors exposure, or some sort of a genetic factors which are underlying, that could actually push them to the verge of being mentally ill, what we define it as. So that's what the entire spectrum is all about. It's not about one static, it's about continuous change in position from one state to other to other. So not only seeing it from the biomedical angle, which was a conventional thinking about mental health, that there is an A neurotransmitter which is deficient or in excess, and then suddenly there is a brain dysformation and that might lead to an illness. But it is all about the psychosocial, cultural aspect of where one is positioned.
That wraps up our midday news brief. Stay tuned for the news in full at 6 p.m. and don't forget to follow us on social media for the latest news. Have a great afternoon, Belize.